Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, quite possibly the most hated man in reality television, the one and only Andrew.
Woo!
Woo.
Thanks for being here. Oh, he's ready to fight. He's got his dukes up. He doesn't have his vest on though, but he's got
No.
his dukes up.
I lost the magician's vest.
It's not at the dry cleaner. You're not getting
No.
impressed for.
Right, I need to. Seriously. I
Who
saw
would
that.
have thought your outfit could cause such a stir?
To be honest, that outfit was changed 3 times during the tell-all.
Oh, wow.
So like I came with a full 3-piece suit, and I had this whole thing, and I was like looking forward to wearing it, and I had a pink shirt on and all this stuff. And when I got there, they're like, take off the suit, change the shirt, do this, do that.
Oh, wow.
And so they totally changed me up into that appearance for the tell-all.
It's their fault. It's their fault.
No, it's my fault too. I brought the vest.
Yeah.
So,
It gave us great fodder. It gave everyone great fodder, so we appreciate it. And you were the only person to actually dress up for it. Everyone else.
I thought we had to.
What kind of affair is this?
I love
know,
it. I was saying that you looked like a wedding usher.
Oh, really?
I said restaurant magician.
Okay.
Like I could do, or like one of those, balloon clowns.
I
that
said
your
balloon.
table,
Someone's
and just
listening.
shift it all up for you,
We appreciate it. So anyway, we'd love to go back and just start from the beginning if we can. Let's tell the whole story here. So what made you go on an international dating site in the first place?
Well, I went on, it was internationalcupid.com, and I told the producers this when they asked the same question. I said, I have an international mindset. I have an international securities degree. I used to live in Europe. I've dated foreign women before. It's just kind of the direction that I've headed in a lot of my life. And so I thought that it would be nice to have an international relationship. So I signed up for the international dating website, and Amira sent me a message, and here we are.
You guys can't see it. He's an international man of mystery. He's got a lot of flags of different countries behind him.
Right.
He's not lying. So you studied international relations?
International security and conflict studies.
I don't know what that is.
No, but it sounds interesting.
Right. It's like NGOs, human migration, conflict between nations, UN Security Council, like all these kind of things you go into. So yeah. I was expected to go into the clandestine services after I graduated and whatnot, but I ended up running a daycare. So,
hey,
So
you said you dated internationally before.
Yeah.
What countries? Are those all the flags of the women that you dated?
My conquest.
Those are your trophies?
Just my wall of trophies here? No, not at all. But I lived in Ireland, so I dated women in Ireland, and then also the Netherlands and Germany, South Korea, and Brazil, I think.
So I have a question for the two of you guys, since I'm the foreigner, you guys are Americans, and you both dated American women and international women, right?
Yeah.
So what's the biggest difference? And Andy and Drew, you can start.
Look at you taking charge.
I'm sorry.
So what's the biggest difference between American women and international women?
Dating. What do you like, dislike? What's your take on this?
I don't. Okay. Without trying to get in too much trouble, I would say that the difference is probably the level of communication.
Okay.
I at least in my experience, when dating someone overseas, or when I was overseas, the communication was much more fluid. There was a lot more of it, and it seemed very, very healthy, and less dramatic. But I seem to be very wrong about that and how everything turned out on 90 Day.
How about you, John?
Well, you're the only international love I've had.
I better be.
Andrew, I don't think you've taken it to the point of marriage, but I would say the biggest difference for me is with the family. I can't just call up your dad and talk to him because I don't speak Czech. So there's a little bit of that wall between me and your family.
That's very true. But it doesn't stop my dad talking to you.
No, your dad has said some filthy things to me.
Google Translate.
Wow. Oh
Google
wow.
Translate doesn't always get it right.
Oh my gosh. It sounds like the dad doesn't hold back at all.
We'll tell you off the air.
Yeah, we'll need to tell you
No
off the
worries.
air.
No worries, man.
But I truly think all people are people. Like, it doesn't matter where you're.
That's very true.
So
exactly, and I think that there's a lot of to be learned from international relations in that way. I think that we learn about each other, we learn about ourselves, and I think we grow a lot when we date internationally and we meet people internationally. And there's a lot of self-improvement there.
I'd also say the type of person that's willing to date internationally on both ends, the American and the international, there's something about them. They're a little more curious. They're a little more adventurous.
Yeah.
And that's probably more exciting for people like us.
I was just going to say, yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just totally agreeing. It's the adventure, the spirit of adventure is there, especially in the international relationship. There's always, places together that you haven't been to before, and you're introducing each other to new cultural things. And so it's like this exciting experience to educate the other party on your life and your culture.
Oh, yeah, totally agree. I was just going to tell you that we actually met. I was in the US already. I was living in New York, and we met on Tinder.
Yeah.
So
still online dating. And look at us now.
Right?
So we didn't go through the whole K1 visa because I was on my work visa or study visa, whatever I was doing at the time. But we had to go through the green card process eventually, as all of you. So this is our story.
+1 in the Tinder column and a -1 in the international Cupid.
Right? Exactly. Right?
Maybe try
Tinder making it happen for you guys. That's awesome.
Let's go back to Amira. You guys dated for a few years, right?
Yeah, over 2 years. We were together for over 2 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, you don't necessarily get that impression on the show.
No, in fact, they really wanted you to kind of have the impression that she never actually came here and never lived or experienced America significantly other than Vegas.
So what was her American experience?
Oh, she lived with me here. She experienced my daycare. She would come and live with me for like 3 months at a time, go back for a month or two, come back for 2 or 3 months, go back for a month or two. And so we would do this cycle over and over again. And so she ended up living here probably over 9 months, in total.
Altogether. And had you gone to France and met her family?
Yeah, I actually went out there to France. Yeah, it was great. I met her mom, and her mom is wonderful. I had a lot of connection there. We went and ate at the Jules Verne Eiffel Tower. Like, we had a great time in France. But her dad didn't want to meet me or didn't make any effort, And so I came to the town in which he was in. We tried to actually go and see him, and he avoided the whole interaction entirely.
How long ago was that?
That was January 2020.
So that's last year. Yeah.
Pretty recently.
That wasn't too long ago when I was
How
out
did
there.
Amira explain that her dad didn't want to meet you?
Basically, it was like explained to me like as it was happening, because we were in the town in which we were supposed to meet the dad, and she called the dad to like, hey, are we going to be meeting you? Are we going to be meeting up? And he was just like, no, I don't want to meet anymore. I don't want to do this. Blah, 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 blah. And so we were like literally there to meet. And so that's when he kind of pulled the whole doesn't want to meet thing.
No cameras or anything, though.
No cameras. This was like before we even got picked up for the show or anything.
Let's talk about that. How did the idea of 90 Day Fiance come up?
Oh, it was like we literally watched 90 Day Fiance when we were in Las Vegas together the first time we met. We saw Michael and Angela and the cake and place and all that,
the classics.
And that made you want to get on?
No, not really. I was so against it. I was like, I never want to do this show. I was like, please, never. Let's do that. And then she just wanted this thing the whole time. Like, she would constantly be pushing like, oh, let's do this show. And so after we finally got the K1 visa, I broke down. I'm like, okay, we can throw out our application. And so we threw out the application, and we didn't get a word back very fast at all. In fact, I don't think they were very interested in us, at the beginning. And so it took a while for them to actually get back, a couple months. And then it even took a couple of weeks after that. I've heard casts say that they've been picked up, in a matter of weeks. But me, it took months and months and months of it, like talking to people and producers and going through. And so I think we were one of the last ones like selected. I think Stephanie was actually the last.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Do you know if Amira watched the show before that Vegas trip? Was she a fan of it, or did she not know?
She had mentioned it before, actually. Yeah, before the Vegas trip, she had like sent me photos of some of the couples and stuff like that. And I had already known about the show because my mom had watched it, and so I was very like, oh man, this show is crazy. It's entertaining, but I never really want to be on it. It destroys.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never want to be on it. It destroys people, and then the things you do for love. You kind of just the tears really draw you to where you need to be sometimes, and she really knows how to pull out those tears.
So you start filming. At what point do you realize you're the villain? Is it during filming? Is it once it's airing? Once the memes start?
I was told, actually, because production tells you all sorts of different things as you're going through it. And so they say, oh, Andrew, we're cutting it this way. We're cutting it so that you're going to look like this. You're going to look like such a good guy when you walk out with the kids and you do this. And they try to say like, we're going to, instead of the villainous dark music that they put behind me as I'm walking out, they were trying to sell it to me like, oh, Andrew, we're going to make you such the like good guy, you're going to get to walk out and be with the kids and have all this. And then when you see it, it's totally different. You have the villainous music on every scene, and you have the odd angles and the Dutch angle and stuff like that. So it's like they definitely knew what they were doing in order to make me fall into those villainous plot lines.
Do you think they knew that when they casted you? Oh, he's going to be the villain, or they got stuff from you and said, oh, we could make him into this?
I think during the whole interview process, they picked up on my manner of speaking, my disposition, kind of my facial features in juxtaposition, and they kind of just applied villain, bad guy. They were able to pick that up. What they really wanted was Colt 2.0.
Okay.
I was thinking that like the way your character was portrayed, I was thinking like, okay, this is something somehow similar to Colt.
They pretty much told me that flat out, like be more like Colt. What about
really?
Colt? Yeah, they would say Colt. That sometimes. They would say, Colt gets all the ladies, Andrew. Colt gets all the ladies. And I was like, what?
No, he does.
I don't want those problems.
Somehow he does, and he's turned his celebrity into multiple seasons of spin-offs, so it wouldn't be the worst thing financially.
I mean, financially, yeah, but ego-wise, it's definitely a hit to the reputation. I mean, Colt doesn't necessarily run a daycare business and have a certain type of community around him.
I was going to ask that later, but let's go to it now. What has the reaction been among the parents of the kids and the kids? And
the kids are always like, I see you on TV. Like that's just their reaction. They have no context or conception of like story or anything like that. So when they see me on the TV, they're just like, I saw you on TV yesterday. Oh my God, you were on the TV, Mr. Andrew. And they're always so excited on Mondays and stuff like that. And so it's a lot of fun. But the parents are just like, what the heck? They're like, because they knew Amira. They met Amira. A lot of my clients knew Amira. And so they're actually kind of upset in the way too of what's being said and how it's being portrayed and everything. So my clients have not been happy with the portrayal, and they know it's all a bunch of BS. Like it's not their cup of tea. A lot of them don't even tune in anymore.
So I'm going to ask it because it's one of the main things I feel like you're getting slandered for is showing the kids' faces on social media. Everyone's up in arms.
I get that a lot, but I have media releases from my parents, and you saw the kids on the show. You actually saw the kids on the show. We have media releases for these children, and so the parents follow me.
Okay.
I don't understand the criticism in regards to that. I understand the criticism. I do. I understand the concern and the criticism, but like, I don't think people are getting the other aspect of it, that these kids were on the show and we have media releases and there's a lot of joy in sharing what we do every day.
So that makes a lot of sense. I actually was one of the people who thought like, oh, well, he's showing the kids on the show. It's not that cool. Just because I was an au pair before, right? I was taking care of kids. I never posted a kid on social media unless the mom was okay with it. I would have to ask. Yeah. And that was my main question. So the fact that you did have media releases, that makes it all good.
Yeah, we have media releases, and in fact, when we filmed those scenes, like those were like the production requested me to film those, and so I had to set up the cameras and do it during my day and get everybody in like dresses and stuff like that for the princess party, and like I had to do that like on 3 different occasions, and so like the parents were involved in this process, so it's like. I wish people would understand that my clients are incredibly supportive, and I'm so blessed to have them around still.
Has business tripled, as Stephanie says, for her?
I am completely booked up. I have a waiting list that could fill another center, and so I'm hoping to double my capacity in my license. That's going to take some time. So I'm going through the process of hopefully expanding my license and being able to take on more clients. But right now I'm maxed out on my license. My school's full. So
good.
That's not bad. Business is good. I worry about the future because a lot of my clients have been with me for a long time and they've, stuck around and they're still here, but they ultimately graduate and they go on and stuff like that. And so it's really concerning all the bad things that people have tried to do to my business. Mm-hmm. Like they send things to it. They post all these fake reviews. They try to mass report it. They make false claims and like all this thing. So it worries me about if I didn't have these clients, I would be panicking. I'd just be in a different situation.
It is unfortunate that you chose to put yourself out there on television as entertainment, and then people are trying to hurt you financially or...
They're trying to take my livelihood. Yeah. I mean, we're watching a television show. I mean, you guys can laugh and make fun of me for,
and
not
we do.
knowing Spanish. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I get it. I understand it. Like I just watched it the other day here and I was like, oh my God, some of this is really cringy and funny. And like, yeah, it's entertainment. And I don't mind all the laughter around that. But when you guys are like getting in my business, contacting like clients or family, like my mom gets calls that are just disgusting. And it blows my mind the level the fandom will take it to,
I was just going to say, like, who takes the time to actually go and do this?
Exactly.
Right?
You really have to be invested. Like these people have, like, I'm taking up so much of their mind time somehow. Like I don't know why I'm in their head so much that they feel like they have to come and try to destroy my life.
As John and I always say, we watch the show, we comment to what's on the show, right?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, we're not trying to be mean. We just say what we see. But I don't understand how some people go, not even the extra mile, the extra 100 miles to really be mean, to really do this, not just to you, to all the cast members.
Casts. Yeah. Some of the casts have some bad stories too.
Oh, I believe that.
I got dick glitter bombs sent to me and stuff like that. I know that like other cast have had like people show up and stuff over at their homes. And so it's just like, it's a different world. And we're all just really normal people that kind of got wrapped up in this whole thing, And so we're not like behind gated communities or celebrities or anything that is, in an ivory tower. We're literally walking around in your neighborhood and like we're very much so accessible to everybody,
I want to go back. We were talking about Colt, being Colt 2.0. You said we were watching one of your lives the other day and you said something about production telling you how to wear your hair because we already have a St. John. We already have
we already have a Georgie. And I was blown away by that because I'm not trying to put myself in the same camp as St. John and Georgie. Those two are very handsome men. I am, but they told me this and I was a little blown away by it. I was a little blown away that I can't wear my hair down, but St. John and Georgie and others got that liberty. And essentially, I think that goes in more to the villain narrative because I basically, they would show up and like I would have to just like quickly, and you can see how sloppy it is sometimes. Like I'm at work and I have to throw my hair up and I'm just, and I step outside to do a filming thing for them. So I think they knew how sloppy it looked. I think they knew how it came off, because my hair is like washed and it's like this and like it's like, but
it looks healthy, guys. We're looking at it looks very healthy. Like no dead ends.
Well, thank you. It's just like it just blew. Like every time it's like, oh, sloppily, we just have to put it back up. You have to put your hair up. And I would like, there were a couple times where I would like fight back and not do it when they weren't in the room, but I was self-filming and they never used those scenes.
Wow, that's crazy.
There were times when I would do like the self-filming, like when you guys see the text message in Mexico and stuff like that. That's me by myself. I had to set up the tripod and get everything ready. It was like in the middle of the night. And so I'm all by myself and I'm like, I want to wear my hair down for this. And so I have my hair up and during the call and stuff, I take it down and they don't show anything that's happening. So they went really out of their way to not show my hair down. Even at the tell-all, they asked me 10 times to put it up and I refused.
Yeah. Like this, I'm out after this, so I'm wearing it down. I'm going out with it down.
Well, all this hair talk brings me to a question, right? I see your hair looks like nice and silky. So
all right, let's take it easy.
I feel like my hair looks nice and silky, but I use all these
good hair too.
Thank you. I use all these crazy products I spend money for. But your fellow cast member from California, Big Ed, uses mayo.
He uses the mayo.
Have you ever tried that?
I've never tried the mayo. People send me that tip all the time. And I'm like, I feel like I get criticized for grease a lot, like, oh, you got greasy hair, you got this. And I'm like, mayo would just make that worse.
Oh, for sure. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Wouldn't mayo just like completely greasify the hair?
I can't watch the scenes with Ed putting mayo on his head. I literally can't.
Avocado on the face and stuff.
Don't go down that path. We have a Big Ed. We don't.
You're right. We could go the cringe route.
So okay, you were alone in Mexico. That was going to be my other question. Self-filming the entire 2 weeks.
I had one dude that they flew out there to help me out, and he came from Mexico City, which was kind of the mind-blowing thing. One guy named Pico, he was great. I liked him a lot, and he would help me out with the audio and the setting of things up. But sometimes he wasn't there, and so I had to like do it myself or set up things when things were happening. A lot of those scenes were just me doing my best to document things for you guys. Like even like the massage was like, I'm a swollen lump. I have bruises all over, but I'm still setting up the tripod and laying it down. And like, I'm trying for you guys. And I feel like I didn't get any like justice in that. Like I really was trying.
And is production on a phone or on an iPad talking to you?
Half the time, yeah. Sometimes, most of the time, yeah. I'd say over 75% of the time, they're right there. The scene where she's calling and texting, they weren't there for that one.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about probably the most egregious thing you did that we as viewers think you did. Countdown, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. The countdown.
Oh my God.
So what was that? What led to that? Why did you do it?
I look at that too, and I say it over and over again. I could have and should have done better. I will take accountability on my failure to communicate in a healthy manner in that moment. But I would also like to emphasize the reality of that situation, which was nothing to do about kids. It was not a fight where I'm berating her for hours on end. It was really a flash pan fight when I got word essentially that she had gotten an agent. I was told by production that she had gotten an agent and she was doing this money play and was asking for money and didn't want to do the filming anymore. And literally she was supposed to be on the plane in a couple of hours. And I had no idea about any of this until it just popped up on me a couple hours before her flight. And so the context of those texts, I've even shown it on my Instagram. You can see the start of the conversation. We're talking about television. We're talking about the TV crew and the TV. We're not talking about kids. We are in a row over what she is doing.
So when you mentioned money, I actually have another question that I've always been curious about, right? So the Americans always get paid because you are in America. What about a foreigner? I know that foreigners, if they come to America, they cannot get paid because they don't have the work visa.
Different seasons have different contracts.
Okay.
So it depends on what season you're with. If you're like before the 90 day or 90 day the other way, I'm sure that there are different payment calculations for the foreigner on that one. But the one that I am on, the original there, where it's just the American.
Yeah.
But I had already actually set up a allowance system for, and you guys saw it on the show, for her to receive half of all the money and everything that was going on. And so she was just like, it was gonna, as I didn't even get paid, and I already was paying her money. And I had the $500 gift card there for her, and she was going to be able to renew that whenever it ran out. And so essentially that was her part of the money there.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's what I thought, because again, I've been here for how long? 11 years, right? I was an au pair, then I went to school, I got my work visa, worked, met John, etc., etc. But I know when I was a student, I couldn't work, right? I couldn't receive any payments. And I know that when you're on the K1 visa, it's the same thing. So that makes sense.
Until you get the adjustment of status and the work permit, it's really difficult to make any money or legally. And so it really limits you to, it really makes it difficult when the American is the only one getting paid in this situation, because it makes the other party feel like they're getting screwed. But the truth is, we had already had arrangements for proper payouts for her. Like there was not any type of like, oh, I'm keeping the money or I'm doing this or that. If you guys see the receipts that I posted, she was not lacking for any money or anything like that I had sent her.
So if she wasn't getting paid from the show, what was the deal with her asking the agent for more money?
I think that's what was so suspicious. That's why, like, when it popped up, it was so incredibly crazy, because she had not told me about the agent, and she was apparently they had been talking to production for over a week about these things while she was in Serbia, and it was not revealed to me literally only hours before she was about to get on the plane. So apparently they were working on it for like a week with her and telling her that they could not do it. They can't pay her. She's already signed the contract. And only on the day that she was going to leave, she never told me. The production called me and they said, Andrew, we're having a hard time with Amira. We can't pay her, And I'm like, I know that, like I know those things. Like, what, you're not telling me something this is news to me. What's going on? And she's like, they're like, Amira is emailing us with an agent has emailed us and is asking for money, and we've been dealing with it for a week, and we thought you knew, and all of this. They thought that I knew. They thought that I knew she had an agent. So all of this really was very revealing at like literally hours before she's supposed to get on the plane. I think she was being deceptive and trying to receive money outside of my knowledge, which is, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I mean, she should get her own money and should be paid. And I want her to have her own bank account and all these things. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the shadiness of it and the how it all manifested. That's what led to the fight.
So what were the first red flags you saw from her? Was it during filming? Was it before filming?
It was during filming. Like, you can see my face on a lot of the shots, because some of the things that she just like comes out with they seem like outlandish or something that I couldn't connect really well to. And so like, you see my face have genuine expressions of shock sometimes. Like why you like, I'm just like, what's this about? Like this is like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like the whole kid thing, like my whole thing on kids, I'm rich with kids in my life. I don't need kids right now in my life. There was nothing that I was doing or anything that was saying we need to have kids right now. The only thing that we've ever talked about is, are we having kids ever? Is that something that's in the future? There was never like, do it now, do it now, do it now. And so I think that's a reasonable conversation to have for people who are about to be married.
For sure. We've had the conversation too.
Yeah. And I'm just like, they don't want any type of reasonable interactions. And so Amira, the red flags for me was during those conversations, she would sometimes just pop off unreasonably, like, oh la la, baby, you think I'm stupid, like these things. And it's just, it generated more conflict than was really actually needed at the time.
Was she totally alone in Serbia, or did she have production there too?
She had a production, but what I was told was she kicked production out because she did the whole agent thing. Like, I was told that essentially she refused to film. And then I was shocked when they did film, some things. They had some things there. So I was told multiple things on that. I was told that she wasn't filming for a period of time because she said she wasn't because of the agent. And then when they actually revealed everything on the TV, they actually did have some shots of her going around.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, like, speaking of Serbia, right? I actually do know some people who did the loophole that you guys did through Mexico successfully.
There you go. Like, the lawyer even listed like a bunch of people who did it very successfully.
Yeah. So my question is, what really happened to Amira that she was detained? And the only thing I can possibly think of myself, because I'm not going to obviously name someone who did it, but they had a return ticket. To basically prove, we're going on a vacation to Mexico. That is, we're going back to our homeland, even though they didn't.
If you look at the Mexican embassy with the French, I'll have to send you the website. It says that you can have an onward ticket, a through ticket. And she had an onward ticket, a through ticket in her possession to the United States. So she did essentially have a return ticket. She had a expression that she was leaving the country, which was shown on the website to be acceptable. And so she had everything that she needed in order to justify herself.
Yeah, so I'm very curious.
She could have shown them. Yeah. She could have just shown them the ticket and said, I'm leaving in 14 days to go to San Francisco. She had it literally with her. So that the way it all went down was incredibly chaotic and very confusing. She had called production and the information was withheld from me for quite some time. And when it was revealed to me, it was revealed in chaotic ways. I was told multiple different things that were going on. And so I had no actual understanding of where she was or what was actually happening because production wasn't telling me. And she had contacted production. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening. I'm hiring translators. I got translators. I got people calling airports, security, different multiple detention centers. We can't find anything. We can't find anything anywhere. And you can check on the T that I have on my profile, one of the conversations that I have with one of my translators. And basically they're talking about how they got to the airport and the airport doesn't keep that information there. And ultimately it was like a runaround. We couldn't really find anything where she was. And it leads me to believe that it probably was not the exaggerated circumstances in which are being described, So the problem is I don't know what really happened.
Yeah.
Like, I really wish, I don't want to state with concrete, this is what happened because totally. I don't
That's
know.
Smart.
Yeah.
But I believe it's one of three things. One, she either, like the paperwork says that she showed the lawyer, it's that she didn't have a passport. She either fumbled it on the way from the plane to immigration. Somehow.
When you say fumble, what do you mean?
Fumbled? Like dropped it or somehow, did not have it in her possession when going through the immigration people. But she even says that she had her passport and handed it to them in the show. She says that at the tell-all. So I don't think that was the reason. The second one, and the lawyer kind of hits at this a little bit, is misrepresentation. You misrepresented yourself to the immigration officials, essentially so much so that you led them to believe that you're not leaving Mexico and you're here for a different reason. And you didn't navigate that situation in a way that would show you a flight ticket, show them the flight ticket, show them the things that are ultimately going to get you out of that situation. And the third one is she had an alliance with production, and ultimately there's some shadiness that ultimately happened there. I think that it's either one of the last two. I think that it's either a alliance with production and there were things going on, because the way that it all happened, is mind blowing.
I liked on the tell all that, you know, like Jovi and other cast members were saying like, wait, like we travel a lot. Like this is, there has to be a reason. Like we both travel a lot. Like even when we go to the Czech Republic, John has to show he has his return ticket, right? You always have to give a proof. So.
And usually, the immigration people, I've had, you know, been pulled aside, and you have to talk, and they're usually you have a chance to like be like, okay, this is what's happening here. You know, it's not like oh, you're in a cell. You know, you're in a cell, and we're not going to reasonably deal with you at all. You're just a someone that's leaving because we don't want to figure out what the problem is here. You know, usually when I've been pulled to the side, it's like, oh, let me explain what's happening. I'm here for visiting my friend. Here's my return ticket. This is what's going on. I'm staying at this hotel. You know, like you give them all the information, and she had all that information in her possession. So I don't know how she ultimately got stuck.
You're not hooked up to a lie detector like Jovi was, so we don't know if you're telling the truth.
I know you can't tell. You know,
I find it telling that you've said a lot of stuff recently, and Amira hasn't come out and denied it, right?
Because she can't.
Right.
It's true.
So,
you know, like, to be honest, if there was any type of like legal investigation, which there won't be, but if there ever was, you would find the emails between production and Amira's agent. You would find all the stuff that actually happened. You would see, I posted the text messages between me and production. Like everything is there. If you had like an actual third party who went and looked at it all, you would see the actual truth, you know?
So a few more questions, if you don't mind. I know we've taken a lot of your time.
No, you're fine.
What was it like filming during COVID? I'm just curious about that.
It was chaotic at some points because there are certain regulations that everyone has to abide by, and they have, you know, a COVID person on set who makes sure that everyone is socially distancing and making sure that everyone is safe and has their mask on at certain points and stuff like that. So, yeah, COVID definitely made filming a little bit more difficult in some regards, but it also made the entire experience more difficult because we had to do the whole Mexico thing and Serbia thing.
That's your storyline.
Yeah, exactly. COVID really threw a wrench in it.
Is Gare Tiger upset that he's being labeled as a bear?
Gare Tiger.
These are the hard-hitting questions,
These
Andrew.
are the questions people want to know about.
They want answers. People want answers.
We got to get to the bottom of this. Gare Bear is parading as a tiger. He is a bear with a fat belly and round ears who is dressed as a tiger. He is merely wearing a tiger costume.
Okay.
I'm joking. He does have the tiger stripes, and when I call him Gare Bear, I'm probably definitely misappropriating his animal traits.
So how do you feel now that the season is over?
Relieved.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm actually really excited that they're going on to another season so quick, and that all that is going on. I think it limits the heat, and everything kind of just changes a little bit. And so it's a big relief in that way. It's like having a little bit of a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Would you do another season?
I never say never. You know, I'm up to conversations. I do feel royally screwed by them in so many ways, but like, you know, there are certain things that do sound fun, you know, like a Strikes Back, or, you know, like those things sound fun to me.
Pillow
like,
talk?
Like reading the text messages that people have like sent and just replying to them on like those kind of things. Like if like those things seem fun, and I would be down to participate.
You do a pretty good job with all the trolls and the memes, I would say.
Thank you. It's fun, you know, like you gotta kind of be improv with it and just like take it and just say yes to whatever they're saying and play around with it, you know?
So were you asked to do Bears All at all?
No, I was never asked to do Bears All. I don't think I'll ever be asked to do anything.
Well, on the show, if you've seen Bears All, they usually have a cast member show a talent. They show off a talent, right?
Yeah.
And I know you beatbox.
I do.
And I told our listeners, if we got Andrew to come on the podcast, I would ask him to beatbox, and if he did, I would freestyle to his beatbox.
Oh man, I gotta get a beat for you. Okay,
you gotta give me a good beat.
I'm just gonna listen.
All right, this sec.
Something slow, something I can work with.
All right.
Oh shit. It's like double Dutch too. You got to figure out like the right place to come in. Okay, hold on. Sitting here with D-Bag Drew, trying to figure out what's the lie and what is true. Amir detained in Mexico, what did he do? Got a massage and swam in the pool. Then he rocked a vest on the tell-all. Probably his biggest sin. But look at him in America now. Just straight up chilling. I think there was a little delay. There was a little delay, which threw me off.
So. But you actually did really good. I think.
Oh, thank you.
I thought that was pretty good, man.
He does things like this. I'm always like, wait, how do you come up with things?
I'm gonna blame it on the delay.
I hear the delay too, man. I'm backing you up on that. But it's fun, dude. I dig the freestyle, man. Oh. It's kind of it's a fun little play there.
I always just say throw out a topic. I tell T, I'm like, throw out a topic, and then I just freestyle. So we just did one for D-Bag Drew. I say it not with love because that's a little over the top, but with appreciation that you would come on the podcast.
It's all good fun, you know. Yeah. I just try to have fun with it, and the D-Bag Drew thing is just it's a characterization to play around with the trolls in that way. So it's fun.
Anything else? Any other questions? Anything you want to say, Andrew, that you haven't said?
I really appreciate you guys having me on, and
you said it all.
It was
yeah. Thanks for joining us. This was really great.
Yeah, if you guys, ever have any other questions, or if your audience has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So,
definitely, he's an open book.
I'm an open book. I'm here for the conversation.
That sounds awesome.
Well, we appreciate it, Andrew. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and cheers.
Thanks, guys. Bye, guys.